Well, joining me now is United States Shark Tank star Robert Herjavec. Great to have you on set live in Australia.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you're here at the moment just testing the waters to see if you want to move to Australia.
Testing the waters. My wife thinks we're moving to Australia permanently.
Does.
Don't tell her. We're just trying it out. The kids are going to King Koppel, which is a great school.
Yeah, excellent. Now, what do you think? You're often on Fox Business talking about business matters. You also own a major cybersecurity firm, Sideris. What do you think is looming in the United States in terms of the economy? Do you think we are going to see a recession there, or it's going to be just specific to certain sectors?
Well, Sharri, so I'm older than time, and I've seen every recession before us. This is the most unique time in economic history. We are definitely heading towards a recession, but it's secular, depending on the sector that you're in. So if you're in tech and you need more money in order to survive, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. But corporate demand for certain areas is going up. Margins are going up. Margins aren't going down in most areas. The thing that we worry most about in America, which I think you're going to see here also, is consumer debt. This is one of the highest times of consumer debt in history. People are starting to default on car loans. People are starting to default on mortgages. And if that begins to take off, it's going to be a big problem for the U.S. economy.
And inflation is still really high in the US. Interest rates, I mean, this is a problem we're looking at in Australia as well. The central bank keep pushing interest rates up, and we're yet to see whether in Australia the Reserve Bank can walk that fine line between raising rates to take the hit out of inflation, but not crippling the economy and sending us into a recession.
It's a very fine line. I'm not a big fan of the U.S. Federal Reserve. I think they've increased interest rates way too quickly. I know Australia's going to hate me for saying this, but I think the interest rates here are not that high compared to the rest of the world. I think it's still manageable.
But people are over-leveraged. That's the problem.
Well, it goes back to consumer debt. I think Sydney and Australia in general is one of the most expensive places to live. And I think a lot of people are dealing with a lot of consumer debt.
And you're finding that, and you wouldn't have a problem with money, and you think it's expensive, the cost of coffee and groceries and petrol?
Well, there's two parts to Australia. It's an incredible place to live, but the minimum wage is very high. The cost of living here is incredibly high. Food prices are really high. So I think for the average consumer, when interest rates keep going up, it's going to be very, very challenging.